Is 2ft Prosthetics, and we'll go ahead and turn the time over to them.
He's too young. He's too young to say what Haiti's earthquake did to him, but his tormented eyes offer a clue. A look at his mutilated little body tells you the rest. At 2 months old, this little girl will never know what life was like without a disability, her leg lost along with her family home. Port-au-Prince's hospitals are packed full of children like this, a tragic generation who'd hardly learned what to do with their limbs before they lost them.
We represent 2ft Prosthetics, an engineering company engaged in the production and sale of quality and affordable below-the-knee prosthetics. My name is Kim, this is my colleague David, and the rest of the team. A couple of years ago, Lisa Strong, a mother of two, was misdiagnosed by doctors. In order to save her life, both her arms and legs had to be amputated. For her to be able to use her arms and legs again, she would have to use prosthetic devices. Fortunately, these prosthetic devices are available, but they'll cost her $10,000. She and her family were able to raise that capital, and now she's able to do many of the wonderful things every mother yearns to do. Shinelli is a 4-year-old son of a carpenter. He lost his limb in the recent earthquake that just occurred in Haiti. It would be great for Shinelli to have legs and arms, I guess you already have arms, but legs, just like Lisa. Legs that will allow him to go back to school, to play soccer, to do many of the wonderful things every kid loves to do. But Shinelli's dad is a carpenter, earning less than $2 in a day. I think we can all agree that unless some help is provided, there's no way Shinelli and his family will be able to get those prosthetic devices. He's not alone. When you go to Sierra Leone for about 10 years, we're plagued with civil war. Civil war that left in its wake over 10,000 amputees. Sanko, who's about 90 years old, can be found on the streets right now. He was one of those amputees who fell victim to the 10-year-old war. More than 10 years after that war, he can be found on the streets, not in college. He cannot be found with a book or applying a trade. He begs on the streets. The statistics show that 95% of all amputees are unemployed. The average earnings of people in developing countries is about $300 in a year. If a prosthetic limb costs about $700 or more, which is actually the normal price right now, there is no way to be able to afford prosthetic limbs. So what is it about wealth that creates opportunities for one person and not for the other person? Should money always be the dividing line between those who actually make it in this life and those who don't? I don't think so. And neither do any of my colleagues here in 2ft Prosthetics. We know we can help people like that. We know they don't have money. And that's what drives us and motivates us here in 2ft Prosthetics. Our services to the world is twofold. One, to provide quality and affordable below-the-knee prosthetics to all those in need. And two, to partner with reputable local organizations and humanitarian organizations to train locals to make and fit these legs.
So over the past year and a half, our team has been working on designing an inexpensive below-the-knee prosthetic leg that we could take down to Africa and other developing nations. As you can see here, it's a pretty basic leg. It's really simple. All that's required to make it is PVC, PET or 2-liter bottles, leather, and strapping. So it really is a simple leg to make. And the great thing about that is that all these materials are available locally in these developing nations, and the skills to make this leg can be trained to locals, so that then the locals can fit and help out their friends, the amputees who are in need, so that they can have a leg and be able to walk again. Another great aspect about this is that in total, to manufacture this leg, it costs under $20. So compared to the $1,000 or $10,000 legs that are out there, this is a much cheaper alternative. This lathe is also unique in that it requires basic tools to make it, just a hacksaw, a drill, and a heat source. So it obviously could be made in developing nations where high-end equipment isn't available. It also has a compliant mechanism foot, as you can see here. The foot replicates the biomechanics of the human leg, similar to the higher-end carbon fiber leg. So that is a special property that helps with the shock absorption. Finally, this leg is completely customizable. Based on the needs of the amputee, you know, every amputee has a different weight, a different size, a different height. This can be customized to meet their needs. So, you may be wondering, how can PVC hold up? Is it really strong enough to handle this situation? We've done some engineering testing and we found that by loading the foot, it can hold over 900 pounds with no issue. So we likely won't find an amputee who weighs that much. We ran some fatigue testing on it and did 100,000 cycles at 350 pounds. And the foot showed no signs of fatigue whatsoever, so it could likely last much longer than that. We wanted to compare our leg to what's currently available down in these African nations. You of course, all have probably seen this typical peg leg in a Hollywood pirate movie. You know, for instance, Pirates of the Caribbean. Just imagine that pirate trying to walk around on this leg. He doesn't walk very smoothly at all, but he kind of limps around, right? It's a classic image in the movie. So the reason for that is because the wooden leg is missing this key foot component. There is no shock absorption. There is no toe to roll off of. And so it's missing that function. It also, the wooden leg is not very comfortable to wear since it doesn't have a molded socket as our leg does. So you can see for something that may cost around the same amount, you get much more with our leg. And so, as you can see here, we had one of our amputees try on our leg just to ensure that it worked well. And as you can see, he's able to walk just fine. Walks around very smoothly. Compare that to a pirate wearing a peg leg. This leg works much better. So now Kay will discuss how we're going to implement this leg.
One thing I want you to remember is a normal leg, a normal prosthetic limb will cost $1,000. This leg is only $30. One of the exciting things about our business model is in our partnership with these wonderful and well-funded humanitarian organizations. $30 in a place like Uganda or in Haiti can still be too much for some amputees. Working with these well-funded humanitarian organizations can be able to subsidize those prices for them so they can afford them. We've been able to secure partnerships with organizations such as Deseret International, Global Relief, and Health International. This summer, we'll be going down to Uganda with Deseret International. We already have a clinic there, and we'll be establishing the first of our prosthetic clinics with them. If a prosthetic clinic employs about 3 to 4 amputees who have been trained and produces about 50 prosthetic limbs in a month at a price of about $30, that's about $18,000 in a year. If you have 6 of these clinics, it's about $108,000 in revenue. What this money can be used for is, can be to pump the money back into the organization to be able to produce more limbs for more people who can afford them. We need to establish more clinics in areas that they do not have clinics currently. Indeed, they can only be found in Africa, 30 of these prosthetic clinics, which is not enough to serve the millions and millions of amputees who actually need them. This is the exciting part.
This is the best part.
Model. How does it benefit the amputee and the community as a whole? The amputee, we employ 54 amputees. Back at home in Ghana, where I'm from, it's so common to see the disabled on the streets with their kids. I often wonder, aren't these kids supposed to be in school? Well, they can't really be in school, the father has been laid off of work. In many of these nations, if you are an amputee or if you are disabled, you are deemed incapable of doing anything. We kind of solve that problem in many wonderful ways. We provide the amputee with a limb. Of course, we cannot employ every single amputee, but by giving him a limb, he's empowered to go and seek more training and be able to make something of himself. The 3 to 4 amputees that we employ, we give them a job, we pay them, and they cannot provide for their families. The government benefits. The government spends loads of money in sending people outside the country to train them. We come in there and we train them for you. You don't have to spend money establishing a clinic because we come in there and we establish a clinic for you.
So, the success of a company is always based on the people who run it. We're lucky enough to have a great team here of students from BYU and UVU who are specializing in engineering, life science majors, and business. So with our different aspects, we've been able to attack this issue by considering the design of the leg, the business model, and also how we can implement this internationally in Uganda and elsewhere. We're also lucky enough to have an amazing group of advisors, business executives from the local area, some of which who are here right now, and we thank them for attending. We believe that we can help people like Schnelli and Senna and other people walk again. This summer, we are actually planning to go down to Uganda and implement this plan. We teamed up with Deseret International and Help International to set up a clinic down in Uganda and fit people with legs. We're also considering going down to Haiti since there's a huge need there. Doug Jackson told us, he was down there right after the earthquake, and he said there are lots and lots of amputees. So we're working to go down to Haiti and provide legs there also. We're also working with Help International to go down to El Salvador this summer. So as you can see, we have definite plans for actually implementing this project. But you probably wonder, is this really feasible? Can people really walk on it? We've invited one of our amputees to come out and prove to you that it is possible. We'd like to invite him to walk forward now, David, and show you how this leg works. Let's give him a big round of applause. Making some adjustments here, and David typically wears a $15,000 leg, so yeah. This is a little bit cheaper, but it does function like a normal leg.
Yeah. It's one of those things of building the self-confidence, but also the foot, you got to get used to that foot and how it's going to roll over for you, because in your brain, you're so used to a regular leg and a foot as you walk, but it's just getting the time. The practice on. So.
Yeah, so compared to having crutches or just a peg leg, this will help a lot. And so the locals down there will have their hands free to actually work and do some good. Thank you for coming out. We just wanted to say in conclusion that we believe that we will be able to help these amputees down in Africa walk again, stand on their leg again, have a new quality of life, and stand for hope. So thank you.